All right, let's get into this. We're going to break down the story of how a community, just on the absolute brink of despair, found its most, well, unlikely hero. It's a classic tale, right? You've got betrayal, you've got failed saviors, and you've got this idea that sometimes the leader you've been looking for is the one you've been ignoring the whole time.
It all comes down to this single question. Anger is in our blood, isn't it? With that one line, a whole flock of victims gets turned into a fighting force. But to really get the incredible power of that moment, we have to rewind. We've got to go back to when everything was lost, when anger wasn't even an option, and all their hope was pinned on somebody else.
So, our story doesn't actually start with anger. It starts with a shocking betrayal and this feeling of just total, crushing helplessness. I mean, can you even imagine the shock? Your entire future, every single one of your kids just gone. Stolen in the middle of the night by the very same people you just welcomed as friends. So now, the birds are left completely leaderless, and they are absolutely desperate. The question, what do we do now, is just hanging there in the air. There's no one to answer it, there's no plan, no authority, so with literally no other options, they turn to the only thing they have left, a myth.
You know, when everything seems lost, people always look for a savior. And for these birds, that savior had a name that gave them their last little glimmer of hope. Mighty Eagle. He was their last shot, a figure of just immense, almost godlike power, who they believed could solve everything with a single flap of his wings. So naturally, Red, Chuck, and Bomb immediately set off to find him. So the journey to find their hero gets disappointing, fast. The very first sign of his existence, this legendary lake of wisdom, turns out to be Mighty Eagle's personal, well, his potty. Yeah, not a great first impression.
And this is the crucial point, right? What happens when the hero you've been waiting for, the one you've pinned all your hopes on, just doesn't live up to the legend?
See, this is the legend. It's all summed up in the song every bird grew up hearing. Mighty Eagle is great, every story tells of his glory. It's this promise of a powerful, brave protector who would always be there for them. But the reality? Oh, it couldn't be more different. Their hero just bluntly tells them, "I've quit flying. I'm retired now." He's basically a washed-up, out-of-shape legend who has zero interest in helping them. He's done.
This is the absolute lowest point in the story. Their mythical protector is a total fraud. The one and only person on the entire island who could fly and save their children is completely unwilling to even try.
Red's words here just capture the complete devastation of this moment. He tells Mighty Eagle, "You were my hero, and you can't even move a feather for us." It's not just disappointment, it is the death of hope, the death of a hero right in front of his eyes.
But it's right here, in this total vacuum, with their hero having utterly failed them, that something new, something really powerful starts to form.
And this comparison just illustrates the shift perfectly. Red's anger, which was always seen as this kind of cute, manageable flaw, is suddenly viewed as the only thing that matters. The community, totally lost and without a hero, finally turns to him.
Now this is a key moment. While everyone else is kind of ready to accept defeat and just move on, Red is the only one who refuses. He completely rejects that complacency. He channels all that crushing disappointment in Mighty Eagle into this new burning resolve. This is where we see that crisis doesn't create leaders, it reveals them.
And this is the turning point. He doesn't offer them a new myth or a bunch of false hope. No, he offers them a shared, raw emotion. He asks, "Am I the only one who's angry? We're birds, descendants of dinosaurs. Anger is in our blood, isn't it?" He shows them that effective leadership isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about channeling a collective feeling into focused action. And so, this is where it all begins. The first stage of their fight back, where this shared feeling finally gets turned into a concrete plan.
And notice how simple this is. We'll build our own ship. We'll go after them. We'll bring our eggs back. Red doesn't wait for a savior. He lays out a simple, actionable plan that puts the power directly in their own hands. They are going to save themselves.
He completely redefines their identity. He tells them, "I don't want any calm, yoga-type happy birds. I want birds filled with anger, angry birds." He takes that shared emotion and he transforms it from a personal problem into the very fuel that is going to power their fight.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that sometimes the leader you're so desperately waiting for, well, they aren't some perfect legend from a mountaintop. A lot of the time,
The most powerful leadership actually comes from right there, inside the group. It comes from the one voice that finally decides, you know what, enough is enough, and turns all that shared frustration into collective action.